I applied for a sales role at Soft Solutions, and they're gracious enough to allow me to get in the job. And yeah, this is my first presentation after 9 months of being on the job, standing here before you guys today. So yeah, thank you so much for being part of it. It's a big moment for me. So thank you. Yeah, other than what I do in my passion, I'm passionate about soccer. Don't know if anyone else is passionate about soccer here. If you are, come talk to me about it after. So first we're going to start off with the wall chart and the dashboard. Just a note before we begin, my voice goes a little bit quiet as I go along, but feel free to just tell me if you can't hear me and I'll project my voice again. So with the wall chart and dashboard, is anyone using the wall chart at their in their offices at the moment? You know, the old grey looking wall chart, you guys using it at all? Sometimes. Sometimes? Yeah. Whatever it's to. You guys ever like up in the TV and the just the screen? Right. Yeah. What about the new dashboard? Are you guys using that at all? You know about the new dashboard? Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's good. That's good. Like that's what the purpose of this is, that we educate you guys a little bit on what's going on. So the dashboard is quite new. I'll just show you the. So that's what the wall chart looks like. It shows you at any given point in time what's going wrong in the dashboard. You know, it's sort of like different parts, and it'll show up there. It's not the greatest looking thing, but it does the job. And yeah, but SolarWinds N-able has come out with a new dashboard. It looks a lot more brighter, a lot more colorful, a lot more attractive, more intuitive, and gives you a bit more information as well on all the stuff that you need to know about. So you can see here, it gives you information on the problem servers, problem workstations. One real handy one is the last reboot type for the machines. You know, you need to keep your workstations and servers rebooted so that it's constantly, you know, you need to reboot them. So that gives you some information about that there in the dashboard. Yeah. I'll just show you through. I'll just take you through the dashboard. I'll show you these two. There you go. So if you need to put the wall chart up on a TV, this is where the wall chart is. You click on this button. It's going to show you here. You can see which device, what errors there are, and you can just go into them and fix them up if needed. And this is a new dashboard, so you can see it's got all the problem devices, problem workstations, a few other handy widgets here that you can click on. It's quite interactive. Click on problem workstations. Should bring it up. I think the Wi-Fi is in. Yeah, a bit too hasty, but basically it brings up in the dashboard like all the problem workstations as a filter when you click on the widget, and you can go through and interact with those in there. So there's three new dashboards. There's the overview, there's the unmonitored devices, and the active issues as well. So the second one is the unmonitored devices. So if you've got an RMM agent sitting on a machine somewhere on one of the sites, it's going to look for all of the devices around it, connected to it, and it's going to bring them up in the unmonitored devices page here. So yeah, you can see that you can filter by laptop, phone, printer. It's going to find all of the devices with an IP address, routers, printers, phones, virtual machines as well. And you can filter each and every one of them to bring them all up in a view. And yeah, so you can take those devices through to your clients and tell them that, hey, you know, you're not monitoring these devices. I'm going to put an agent on it for you so I can monitor it. If anything goes wrong, then you can that we can sort it out for you. So it's unmonitored devices page. And here's the other third last one is the active issues page. So we've got resellers who, with their service desk, they just sort of delegate that through to the service desk and say, hey, you know, if there's 4 or 5 every day, they'll log in, go into the active issues page, and just find what issues are there, what's happened the night before, what's happened the day previous, and just go in, log in, and just clear up those checks and just sort them out. So if they're false positive, they'll sort those out. If there's any issues with all these checks that, like say this space check, they'll go into there and just clear up the files so that there's more disk space and things like that. So that's a pretty good way to get a full overview of all the issues that are in your machine on your dashboard. And you can see, you can filter it by check status, device type, and check type as well. So any questions on that before we go to the next? Cool, so now we're going to look at dashboard optimization. So with your RMM dashboards, you guys are going to get alerts from all different places. You're going to get email alerts flying at you from everywhere. You're going to have like check failures. You're going to have all sorts of different things happening in the dashboard. It's going to cause a lot of noise for you guys. And with the noise, what we want to do is talk to you through a little bit about the dashboard optimization to make sure that the noise is mitigated, and so that you guys can focus more on the issues at hand rather than worrying about all the other types of things instead. So take you through to the first check that you guys can clear up, which is the Windows Defender check. Now, with the Windows Defender check, you guys, if you have an antivirus sitting on a machine somewhere, the Windows Defender check is going to fail because it's already got that antivirus sitting on that machine. Now, if you've got antivirus across all of your guys' machines, and you've got this Windows Defender check always going off and just causing those issues, those if that check fails, it's going to be across all of your machines, and it's just going to cause a lot of unnecessary noise. So what we want to do is we want to clear this Windows Defender check, and I'll just show you how to do that now. We go through to the dashboard. So I've got my machine here, and as you can see, the Windows Defender check has failed. Now what I can do is right-click it and click Delete Check. That's going to get rid of the check for that one machine, and yeah, that's just going to remove it. But what we want to do is remove that one antivirus Windows Defender check across all of our machines in the dashboard. So we can click Delete Checks like this. And you can choose under which devices you want to clean it up for. So we go into the test machines here. You can see the Windows Defender antivirus check. You can just click it, click Delete Selected, and it's going to remove that one check across all of your dashboards. So yeah, that's basically one check that you guys can clean up. The second check is for your disk space. So with the disk space, so like when it reaches a certain threshold, it's going to cause an alert to say that the disk space is filling up. Can you guys, it's going to fail. The check has failed. You guys need to clean up some space on your disk space. And that's for the C drive. If you do it for the C drive, that's fine, right? That's helpful. You want to know that. But say you've got a USB or a hard drive or something like that that you've plugged into your machine. that's going to cause, that's going to create another drive letter on the device, and the RMM is going to start monitoring that drive letter. So it could be H drive, I drive, something like that. And once you take out that hard drive or the USB, that check is still going to be there in place. So you don't really need it. So you want to get rid of that check. So I'll just show you how you can get rid of it now. Here we go. So here's a C drive one. You can do this for, if you click delete checks like this, what we did before. So you can select which one it is, or which devices you need it to be applied for. Let's do all of them. Now, if you click on this button, it's a hidden button. You can sort by ascending or descending. So if we go sort descending, it's going to bring up some drive letters that are not necessary. And also, if you click on that again and go through filters, and you type in H, that's going to bring up all of the drive letters. So if there's more than one, it's going to bring it up all here. And you just want to get rid of that because it's you don't really need to monitor that drive letter. So you can just click this checkbox here and just click delete selected. That's going to remove quite a lot of noise for you across the dashboard. Oops. So I'm sure you guys know about this one, but it's more about cherry picking the noise across your dashboard so that you get less noise from email alerts. So you can go ahead and select which email alerts you want for each and every device. So you can do that individually in the devices down here in the south pane, or you can go through to edit alert policy and do that as well. I'll show you here. You can see here that underneath on the south pane, you can click on these individual buttons, and that's going to either allow an alert or to come through or not, or you can do it in bulk, which is more productive by going through to settings, going through to alerts, and then alert policy. So if you go to workstation alerts, then you can choose and select here if you want email alerts, outage email, an outage SMS alert, and things like that to appear. So if you want that alert to come through for disk space checks, then you can allow it here. And you can just allow, and just click email and you'll get email alerts for disk space checks. And if there's other ones that you don't need, then by all means turn it off and on, depending on what you guys need it for. Now this performance monitoring, so when you guys do performance monitoring for a server or something, if it goes beyond the threshold that you've set, then the check is going to fail. Now last year in July 2020, there was the agent that came through and was that you can install onto your machines. It set up some better performance thresholds for you guys so that you guys get less alerts, and yeah, it's just optimized that a little bit for you guys. So yeah, I'll just show you this on the RMM dashboard as well. Say we go through to here and we'll find the server that we've got. We have the performance monitoring check for memory. It's going to show you the thresholds that have been set. If the average is going high towards the threshold, that's when you're going to know that you're going to need to allocate some more resources or sort it out. Yeah. And then you can click View Report. based on the soft solutions, based on the device. You can get 24-hour report or an 8-day report. If I click on this, it's going to tell me that you can't do a 24-hour report just yet. It'll be available by email when ready, so we're just not going to bother with that one. We'll do it for 8 days. Click on OK. It's going to bring up that report for you. And you can see here that if there's lines hitting the, up and down is all good, it's all okay. But if there's a line heading towards your threshold, then that's where you probably want to change, look at it and see if you need to change up the resources. Okay. And you can change the alert thresholds here if you like, and you can change it for multiple devices as well. So if I've got these two, I can select both of these, click edit selected, and just change the thresholds across both of the device, all of the devices here. So if it goes beyond that threshold, it's going to send you an alert. So you can just make the threshold higher so it doesn't send you alerts when it's not needed.
Anyone have any questions so far?
You just mentioned when people plug USB drives and it automatically pops up in the system.
Yeah.
Like it populates. That's not my experience with our dashboard. Is there a setting that we've got not turned on?
I'm sure it should. What I was advised is it comes up automatically, but I'll probably look into it and let you know if there's a setting that comes up and brings it.
Maybe when Alex comes on, we'll relay the message the question again and see if he knows.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can also select, you can also, like, if you've got intervals for your checks, so say every 15 minutes, then it causes a failure. Say you've got like a backup that you've got running overnight, and if the CPU or the RAM spikes beyond the threshold after in like a 15-minute period, then it's going to cause an alert to, it's going to cause the check to fail, isn't it? So what you want to do is that that's just that that it's not that it doesn't need to fail, like that the check doesn't need to fail because that there's a backup job running overnight. So what you want to do is you can change it through to only have it after 2 or 3 consecutive failures. So in the 15-minute interval, if it fails within 15 minutes, then that's fine. Fails within 30 minutes, then that's fine. But if it doesn't fail on the next 15-minute interval, then it's not going to cause a check to come through to you with a failure message at that point as well. So yeah, that's pretty much my section done, and we can go off through to Alex now.
Alex, are you there?
I'm here. Can you guys see me and hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. Thank you. I'm going to share my screen.
Can you just introduce yourself, Alex, please?
Yep. Hi, everyone. Alex here. So I'm a sales engineer based in Sydney. So I have been with SolarWinds or N-able now. We changed the name to N-able. 3.5 years now, and basically I support all the products, N-central, RMM, backup, EDR, Passportal. So basically like all the product on the N-able now. All right, so today what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover the automations. But in our automation today, we're going to do a little bit of hands-on. Okay, we're going to do on the self-healing. Basically, like we're going to create like a basic like custom monitoring as well. So excuse me. So on this training, I try to kind of like introduce, the automations, because this is the main part of the RMM tools. Some of people will like known but haven't been leveraged these automations. We do have a lot of a script that out of the box from the RMM as well, and also we do have the automations and manager policy. So we do have the engine that allow you to create like a custom script. Okay. Lastly, I'm going to talk about the create a template so we can apply our task, our script, apply across our devices. Okay, let's start in here. So as Renis explained before about the proactive monitoring, we do have all this alert issue, and we normally like we will perform all the troubleshooting, right? So one of the things that we need to do is like all the issues coming up on the RMM. So firstly, we're going to talk about like why we want to use the automations. Firstly, we're going to increase the profitability. So now basically you can reduce the expenses by spending the less time. You don't have to always sit, like in front of the computer now. So basically you will improve your efficiency. The other thing is like, if you don't need to do like all the boring tasks, but actually it's quite important as well. If you need to do all this like weekly maintenance or daily maintenance, but like again, you have to do that over and over again. And so by using this automation manager, so basically like you can reduce the human error. The other thing, like you can standardize all your service delivery. So it means that if you do need to provide all the service like exactly the same to all your customer, then pretty much like you can just use these automations. The other thing is that we talk about the so we have a quicker response time to react the issue straight away. Any issue occur on your part of your check, it will apply automatically or to try to remediate the issue. So in these automations here, what we normally like what to automate here. If you are most of the time that you will receive like a call from your customer, but you can look at your 5 call drivers in here, okay? And then you have a mundane task. You might have a checklist that you'll be able to create. And then we are going to look at the deployments as well. Maybe you have a new customer coming in, and then you might have a checklist like what software you like to deploy on the devices. So you can have a list of the software that you like to download and then install it automatically on the device. And also you can create like a custom like a template. Basically, like if this particular customer, I need a list of the software that deploy to this customer. And then you also have the maintenance task. So basically that you need to the task that you need to do, like like daily or weekly. This is like part of your service mode, part of your service offering. The other thing like we going to do the remediation and the self-healing here. Okay, so we're going to look at today. We're going to look at the use cases here. So we're going to look at the self-healing script, and then we are going to look at the reactive automations as well. So basically, like when the customer give you a call, you kind of have a ready script. Basically, you can go to the device. You can just run that script from the device to remediate the issue. The other thing, we also going to look at the proactive maintenance scripts as well. All right, so what I'm going to show you as well, we do have a lot of script that out of the box. Okay. Let me just show you here. Probably you have aware that on the RMM dashboard, if you go to the task, you will see that a lot of the out of the box script here. Okay, so you don't need to create your own script. We do have a lot of script that ready for you to apply for the self-healing. Okay, but before I will start further, I would like you guys actually to download. I believe everyone have your laptop. If you guys can actually download the automation manager on the your RMM dashboard. If you go to the settings, you go to the script manager, and then you go to the automation manager on the top here. Can you guys please download this? And then we're going to kind of like create a simple script, use it as our self-healing or reactive monitoring as well. So I will give about maybe like a couple of minutes to do that.
I'll let you know when they're done, Alex.
Yes, please. Thank you.
They're done, Alex.
Yeah, done? All right, good. Let's have a look here. So now you have done with your download your automation manager. Let's have a look in here now. So basically, like once you have the if you want to apply the task, what you can actually do, as easy just you go to your client level, or you can go to your device level. So if you can see on the left hand side of your clients here, if you want to apply on the device, of course you just go to your task sections. You can add the task as simple as that. Okay, but sometimes you might want to apply the task to a site level. What you can actually do, just go to the site level, right click, you can go to the task. Firstly, you need to add the script first. Okay, it will show you all the all the scripts, and also if you have upload your own custom script, it will show up under the user define. Okay, so you will see it from here. Then you can select your script, and then you can, when you add it, once you add it, you can run the script. Basically, same thing again, go to the task, and you can run script from here. If you want to apply on the client level, just go to the client level and do the same things from here. Okay. So what we're going to talk about is like, I'm going to have a look on the self-healing here. I'm not sure like how many of you have leveraged the self-healing script on the any field checks are coming on your dashboard. You have applied that. I think probably the basic we talk about like the disk-based check-in here. Okay, so what I would like you to do now, probably like, do you have any files that you just delete the file and put in your recycle bin? What I like you to do to test, I like to clear the recycle bin. I'm not sure like you do have a lot of your file in your recycle bin. So because I'm going to do is like, I'm going to I'm going to increase the threshold, bridge the threshold for the drive C, and then we run the, it will automatically do the self-healing, clear your, it will empty your recycle bin. Can you guys just, delete a file, put in your recycle bin? Maybe some of you might want to keep some of the file from the recycle bin, just restore it first. I'll give you about like a couple of minutes.
Yep, done, Alex.
Done. All right. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to let's do on the self-healing here. So this is just automation policy. Okay. So on your dashboard, just find one of the device. Preferably is if your device are on in your dashboard, right? So what you're going to do, look at for your disk space check for the drive C here. Maybe I will increase the screen here. So you can see the threshold, you know, the information of your drive, like the free space, the use space. Let's change the threshold. Okay. So sometimes, like if you want to do some testing, the easier, of course, like to change the threshold, so it bridge the it will fail the checks in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a percentage in here. So I will increase, maybe like I will put 99%. So it will fail my it will fail my monitoring. Okay, I'll just hit OK for before. Yeah, you change to 99%, and then what you can do, and also you need to do, is assign a self-healing here. Just tick this box and then hit OK. So what we're doing now is only apply to one of the script to the of the checks. Sometimes if you need to assign the a task, a script on the check, you don't have to edit or go to the services. You can as easy just go to the right click, and then you can just assign a task in here. Just select assign task. You can do that way as well. Okay. So now I believe you are on this screen. You can scroll down and find the empty recycle bin, or you also able just say, yep, just put recycle. It should listed all for you. But otherwise, go through. Maybe you haven't seen the list of all the outer box script. Just yep, scroll down. You find the empty recycle bin here. So you can see like a lot of lists. Okay. It's under system control. All right, once you select your empty recycle bin, probably it's a good idea as well. You might want to open up your recycle bins as well. So like when the task is run, you'll be able to see it, like what's happening in the actual. Okay. Okay, so what you need to do, just hit next. It will ask you for the descriptive name. This is just any name. You can just put any name if yeah, just put any name. The good thing is that when you run these scripts, any script that come out from the script that you are using, and it actually from the RMM itself, you will notice that we have a lot of this link. Okay, this link is actually like when you click this link, it will bring you to the that specific sections. So you can see this is automated tasks. So we have all different tasks in here. So what we are now we're going to do is like the system control for the Windows. So when you click this, it will show you all the tasks that are available, like how you actually use it. Okay, if you're not sure how to use it, it's nice to have, just click that link. It will bring you to our online manual. Okay. So you can see like recycle bin here. does not require any parameters here. All right, so we can just hit next. And normally you have a tick box as well, like you want to run the script, just leave it as like by default like 1 hour, and you hit finish. Okay, when you hit finish, you will notice that the recycle bin, now you have a assigned task in here. It will pop up on the right hand side. Okay, so now what happens is that now you have changed the threshold. What you normally do, you can see now it's actually breach threshold. What you can actually do, I'm not sure you notice as well on your dashboard, you got 3 refresh button on the left top here under the clients. Every section they have their own refresh button, but most of the time if you want to refresh the whole dashboard, not using the browser refresh, just use the one on the top here. This is one of the empty recycle bin tasks, like self-healing. This is the easiest way that you sometimes, like if you want to run some tests on your device before you deploy to your customer device, you can run and do some testing on your own device first. How did you guys go? Any questions so far?
No questions so far, Alex.
All good? Yep, cool. All right. So, yep. So now let's move on the automation manager. Now you have installed the automation manager. I would like you to open up the automation manager for me, please. So we are going to use that. So okay, so on the automation manager, this is the script. You know, you can see the UI, and it based on the Windows PowerShell. Okay, so firstly, I will show you. Okay, so sometimes like when you use our out-of-the-box script from the RMM, okay, it might be limited, and then you say like, oh, I wish I do have more script that I can play around with. That's why like we are N-able. We do have give you these engines. I'm not sure whether you are aware of this. So now you can leverage this engine to create your very simple script, or you can, if you are quite comfortable with the PowerShell, then you can create like more complex scripts as well, policy, and then you can upload to your RMM dashboard. Okay, so let's look at on the left hand side here. So basically we do have all these scripts, about 600 plus objects here. Okay, they are all in the different category. So you can see that on the left hand side, if you need to do something with the Active Directory objects, so you can see if you want to get the domain information, so you as easy as just drag and drop. Okay, so you don't need to create any coding as well. So if you are not quite comfortable with the programming, then this is pretty nice for you to use it. Okay, so now you can see like on our objects in here, we do have like mostly popular we're going to use later on today is conditional. We're going to check like is the UAC enabled, or we're going to check like if sometime like you want to do a maintenance, maybe you want to check if the user actually log in on the device, you'll be able to check from here. You can use this as script. Okay, the other thing like control flow. So you might want to say like, oh, if and else, you have all this functionality. I will show you later in when we create a script as well. And then something to do with the DNS, if file management, if you want to copy the file from the server, download the file from the server, as easy as just drag and drop. So now you can just put the remote name, copy the file name. If any user to connect to the server, you just put it in here, okay? So what we are going to look at it today, later on our lab, we're going to look at the, you can see all the Hyper-V here. We got the network. We're going to look at today, we're going to look at this system. System probably is the basic like in our automation manager here, because this is where you're gonna do maybe like delete a temporary file. This is do a lot of maintenance for you. You might want to create your daily or weekly or monthly. You'll be able to do it from here. All right, let's move on. I just using the slide to kind of so I don't miss what information I need to give it to you. So on the slide as well, so when you using the script, basically like let's say I would like to, okay, let's do this one. If you are on your automation manager, you can type. So sometimes like if you're not sure like whether we do have that script or not, you can type on the top. Let's say like if I want to look at the I will use this one, get OS architecture here. Okay, it will be under the system. Okay, but sometimes like you might say on the top here, I will say you can type. It will give you all the it will give you a short list in here. So what you need to do, just drag and drop. I want you to do that for me, please. So once you've done that, drag and drop, and you can see that these objects, you can look at the information here. On the right-hand side, this is get the architecture of the operating system. There is no input required, and this is the output. Okay, so this is kind of an object that you can run straight away. So if you need to check like to test the script against your computer, just basically you just click the start button on the top here. So now you can see on the left-hand side, you might move up the divider a bit up. So you can see now, it will run the script and then it will check whether my operating system is a 64-bit or 32-bit. And then the result is 0, it means the script is working correctly. But if the result is 1, it means it failed. Okay, that's the indicator from here. Any questions so far?
There's no questions yet, Alex.
Yep, good. Okay, so what we are going to look at now as well, like what we're going to do, reactive automations here. Okay, so in this one, we're going to talk about the create a script for the reactive. So it means that if your customer give you a call and rather than probably like if this is kind of like a quite often that you need to run for your customer. Let's say they have a issue with the printing, right? So they can't print, but this customer have this particular printer. Maybe the job is stuck, or you want to restart the print spooler. You'll be able to kind of like go to the RMM dashboard, and then you can run that script right away. Okay, probably we're going to look at what we're going to do now. Let's open up your automation manager back again. So if you did drag the objects in here, what you can do, just click on the white color here. just hit delete. Okay, so now what we can actually do, we can you can scroll down here. We can go to the printer because there's a printer. So it's a alphabetically ordered, so it's easier to find as well. Okay, so what you can see here, we got a few objects related with the printer here. We can get the list of system printer as well. This one I just drag, you don't have to do it for it. I will run, then sometimes you might say like, okay, if I do have a different printer, you'll be able to see like what printer is actually installed for that customer, because you require the name from here. Okay, the list, the name of the printer. Okay, so at the moment I will use all the simple one. You don't need to put any input on the script. Okay, so what we're going to do for this reactive, you're going to do is firstly you will say like, okay, I would like to delete the print job. As easy, just select the objects and then just drag that objects to here. Oh, maybe it's a good as well. You might want to get the list system printer here. Drag that objects first, and then I want you to run it. And then if you can see that if you have any printers installed on your computer, okay, run it without this print job if you can, please. So basically, if you run, at the moment you can see the script, it gives you the exclamation mark. It means like it requires something in the field, so you won't be able to run it. So you can actually just delete it, run this list system printer. Now you might have see all your lists in your computer. Okay, once you run that, I want you to go to the printer list. Sometimes like if you on the customer, you can run this one, but on your computer you can go to your printers and scan them. I would like you to go to the printer properties here. Okay, if you want to copy the name on the bottom here, I don't think you can right click, but just select the name. You just Control C, and then you can open up your notepad. You can paste it. You just need to copy the name of the printer. Are you following? So you can leave these objects on the screen, and then now you need to grab the delete print jobs in here. Okay, so now I want you to paste the printer name on the field. You guys okay? All right. So before you run anything here, I would like you to go to your control panel and go to the printer. Go to the printer properties for me, please. Okay, we're going to go to the, I would like to, I just put the, you can drag or drop or file you would like to print, or it's easier, just go to the printers and select properties and hit print test page. I believe your computer is not connecting to the network. Yeah, you shouldn't be able to print. It should start the job on the print spooler here. Okay, you can, yeah, you can put a number of print job to make it start. Okay, are you guys following? Okay, once you have a couple of let's say print job is been stuck in the print spooler, now you can test the scripts. Okay, you can see it actually runs. So now it's starting to delete the print jobs for you. So basically you can see, okay, now the script is running. Now the script is working correctly. Sometimes you might just leave it, it's deleting printing. Sometimes you just a bit of a refresh. Okay. So let's say now we know the script is running. We would like to add this script to your RMM. Okay. Now if you go back to your RMM dashboard, you can go to your devices. You can go to your device if you want to apply to one device, or you want to apply to before that you need to upload your script. So back to again, pardon me, come to here. Once you happy with your script, it's working correctly. So now it's actually delete the whole job now. So it's working. You just save the file. I will copy the path. Okay. So now I save the AMP file. So now what you need to do, go back to your dashboard on your RMM. You need to upload the script. So you go to the settings, you go to the script manager. Okay. So some of you may have some of the list already. You might have upload your own script, and some of you will still like blank, nothing in there. So all the out of the box script, it will not show up in here. So basically, there is a system. It's a system a script. You won't be able to modify that script. So the one you see in here, this is all the custom script. As easy now. Just click the new to upload the script. You can put the name. Okay, we just leave the default timer 120 seconds. And then you do have a different type in here. So we do have a script check, and then we do have an automated task. Automated task, this is where that you can, you upload the script. This is for your proactive like maintenance. Okay, or you want to set it up as a manual, or you set up a weekly scheduling. You have to select the automated task. Script check this is where that you apply for your custom monitoring to check something like whether it's failed or not. We're going to use this one later on as well. And then it's a operating systems of Windows. You can see that we support different platform in here as well, Windows, Mac, and Linux. And then you can upload your a script. Once you select your job, just hit save. Pardon me. Okay, now once you see your script on the list, now you can apply that script to one device. As easy, just go to the task, or you want to apply to the group of devices in here. Okay, if I want to apply to manager group, I can just right click, I can apply the task. Add, I can just put print because I have a lot of objects in there. You can just select that, hit next. I want to apply on the server or just the workstations only. Okay, in this case, I just apply to all my devices. Okay, it will ask you for the name. You can just put any name. No script parameter required. So this one, because we are talking about the reactive monitoring. So basically, like you will not do it for you not set up a schedule. So you can select manual. Then it will show you as well. Okay, how many devices that are on this manager group? So you got 3. It will apply that task for you now. So now you can see that I do. No, it's come out yet. Let's have a look. So you can refresh on the bottom. On the bottom here. Then now you can see the job is actually pop up in here. Okay. So this job is reactive. It means that it will not run until you run it. So the idea is that if you know that this customer, like, quite often call you about this issue, you can create like a script, any script, and then you can go to the device and then say, I have any issue. Maybe you're doing something on at the moment. What you can actually do now, just right click, you can run the automated task. So basically it will run the one I showed you earlier. It will clear the, sometimes like you might have an issue that they can't print or they have any issue. What you can actually do, just restart on that script, they actually just delete the print job in there. You can do more complicated on you can add more as well. Sometimes like you might say like, okay, not just delete the print jobs. You might say like, I need to maybe restart the services as well, just in case the print spool is a stop. So you're on your automation manager, you can just put service. If I want to restart the service, so this is under the service category. So sometimes I just, if you want to go down, there's here, and you can just say restart the service before actually you want to delete the print jobs in here. So this one, again, on the left hand side, you can see all this information of these objects. So let's say if I want to restart the print spooler. Now you can restart the print spooler, you can force it, and then it will run the next objects in here. Okay, so you can create as simple as you like of the objects of the policy. Sometimes, yeah, if you're quite comfortable, you can create as complex as you like as well. Any questions so far?
No questions in the same.
Okay, good. All right, so the next one talking about this reactive automations, the one I just mentioned. Oh, just pass one of them. Okay. So time to time, you might have like, onboarding, you might have a scheduling, you have a new customer that you want to add to your RMM, and probably you have a list that you like to install the software. So you can see that when you download the software from the URL, you want to install it remotely. What you need actually is a silent parameter here. So I'm not sure you will get this slide. So if you want to have a quick take a screenshot or anything like that, just by all means, you can take the screenshot of the of this list. Okay, the most important is here, the one I mentioned is a silence parameter. Okay, any application, they might have a different silent parameter here. Okay, let me show you here quickly. Okay, so let's jump back to the our RMM dashboard. So when we install software, we do have the out-of-the-box software objection here. Okay, so you can scroll down. We can go to the install and remove software sections. Okay, so now you do have a list that you like to install. As easy, just go to install software from the select that object. You can double click after that, or you can just hit next. Okay, just put the name. Maybe let's say I want Adobe here. What you need to do is just get the URL. Okay, so when you point to the URL, it's point to all the path with the where's the file that can be downloaded. Okay, so now you can change as well. Maybe just the easiest one to see. Sometime you want to download to your temp folder, and then you just need to run the file, and then you need to put the silent parameter here. Okay, so any that required, yeah. So when you install the software remotely, this is the most important, because like if a software required the user interaction, such as like when you try to run it, but it actually like asks the customer or the user to click like agreement, a button, or they have to kind of click next, then you won't be able to install successfully for the software remotely. So it has to support the silent installations. So basically, you can just go to the vendor website, find out whether they have the silent installer, and get the parameter here. Okay, same things again. We always have this online manual. So you can just go to the help. From here, we do have this information as well. Install and remove software for Windows. You can see all this sample how you actually use it. Because if you back to here, we do have a different like install from Amazon. If you have a file on the server as well, if you want to download the file, you have the file ready on your server, you can just do software from the server as well, as easy as that. Okay, basically you just need to come to here. You can just if you're not sure how to use it, okay, we do have all these instructions for you. All right, so we cover for the lab, we actually cover some of them already. We apply the recycle bin, we delete the printed jobs. And the next one we're going to do is the apply the schedule maintenance. So I believe part of your service offering, you might say like, I need, we're going to do like weekly maintenance or daily maintenance or monthly maintenance. You'll be able to set up a schedule for them. But in this lab today, this training, I will show you. We do have a community script, okay, community site that you can download from. I would like you to go to the success. I would like you to go to this website, please, if you can. Okay. So once you're on the website, so this is our community script website. So you can see that we have around like 463 objects. Let's just clear this. Okay, so this website is our N-able. We do have a dedicated team for the scripts. Sometimes you might need some more, a particular script that you can actually like do a feature request, kind of like request that script. And also some of the script, the one you see later on as well, it being shared by our partner as well. Okay, so you'll be able to use it. So now you can see this is all the script that available for N-Central or the RMM here. Okay, so on this one, we are going to do is just put the, actually we're going to use this one, the first one, workstation daily maintenance here. Okay, if you can click that. Okay, what you can do now, I would like you to, look at the script. So basically this script, when it run for your daily maintenance, so this script actually been shared by Brett Dawson. This is policy going to do like enable your UAC, flush your DNS. This is part of the daily maintenance for the workstations. Okay, if you like to leverage this script, so the script is actually like another information is important as well. Make sure that it's compatible with the RMM. Okay, this is the important part. I would like you to just download the script, download link, just download to your computer, please. Sometimes you might, while you are doing that, I will show you. Sometimes you might want to look at a different script. Not sure, you just type any script from here. So we do have a different script. Like if you want to check the SSL explorations, you can see like whether they support RMM or not. You'll be able to see it from the product here. Okay, there's a few objects in here. You can also look at the Cisco Meraki, but for N-Central. There's a lot of a script that you like. You can see it from here. Maybe reboot, a different reboot probably. Okay, there's a few things that you can actually leverage from our cookbook here. So we call it cookbooks. It's our community script. All right. So once you download the script, I would like you to do is, okay, firstly, you need to is a zip file, unzip it, and then upload that script for me, please. So basically, go to the settings again, go to the script manager, and then you upload that script from there. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that, please. All right, so once you've done that, yep, you can go to the task. Just go to the device, go to the task, and you can just add an automated task, or if you want to apply the one I showed you earlier on the client side, or on the client level, or on the site level, just do the same things. So in here, I will say, let me have a look. I got like maintenance. Okay, I just test. I just select any of them. Okay, just select the objects, the one you just script, you just uploaded. Hit next. I say probably this will be my weekly maintenance. Okay, so now you can see this scheduling. You can select, like, maybe you just want to run once per day, just take all this in here, or maybe just once a week. But this one I will do maybe only like Thursday instead. Maybe I will run after hours. Let's say 8 o'clock. Hit next. Okay, leave it as a maximum, like just 1 hour. And also, you might notice as well, there is a small box in here. Run tasks as soon as possible if the schedule is missed. What happens is, like, if the device is offline, or maybe the user is on annual leave, if you want to run this schedule task as well, so you can just tick this small box. So when the device is back online, it will automatically run the task for you. So now you do have a like peace of mind. The task we run, all the necessary tasks that you have scheduling. Okay, and then hit finish. Okay, so now we actually complete like the first part. All these just a basic, out of box script, just apply for the self-healing, the reactive monitoring, and also for the scheduling script in here. Any questions so far?
No questions here, Alex.
Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about the custom services. We talk about, just out of the box. Now, what happens, like, if you need to monitor something that is not, from, we RMM doesn't have it. So basically, you can create your custom script. So sometimes, like, the one I showed you earlier, you can upload your own script. You can create your script using the automations manager policy, or maybe you Google is our friends. You will find that script on Google, and then or using our cookbook as well. All right, so in this custom services, we're going to create like a basic one. So we're going to monitor if the UAC is enabled. And then the second one we are going to do is like monitor if the folder exists. But this one, we're going to use the input parameter here. Okay, so let's open up the automation manager again. Okay, let's create a new file in here. So sometimes you might have, like you want to monitor, okay, just a quite basic, like, okay, just I want to check the UAC is enabled or the firewall is enabled. So you just quite easy that you can search all the objects in here. So I do have, we do have the objects for disable the UAC. We can check is UAC enabled, or we can enable the UAC in here. Okay, so what you can do is that firstly, you might want to just drag the objects is UAC enabled here. So this is kind of like just checking. you can run the object on against your computer, see whether it runs successfully. So now you can see the result as well. I'm not sure it's too small on your side. If I bring this one up, you can see it say true. It means the UAC, the UAC is enabled. Okay. So now what we're going to do now, we're going to create a script to check. Okay, but let's say if the UAC is not enabled, so basically I check USB is off, we're going to fail the checks. How are we going to do that? Okay, so quite simple. So firstly, we're going to check it. Secondly, we're going to use if objects here. Okay, I would like you to follow with me. Just drag the objects as well. So we're going to apply to your custom. We're going to apply the custom script to your RMM. Okay, so now you can see you do have if. Now you can there's exclamation mark on this object. It means there is you can see asterisk on a variable. You need that input in here. Okay, so you can do hard coded. It means that you can put something in here, but of course that is not the way to do it. On the right hand side, the one I mentioned before, you can look at all the information for these objects. So what we're going to do is like we have a link button because we're going to link the objects on the top. Firstly, we're going to use is UAC enable here. I'm going to get the is UAC enable. Hit OK. And then it will check the conditions. So basically, I will say if equal false, I will fail. Or yeah, it's normally like equal false. Or what you cannot easy to do as well, up to you, does not equal, you can say true. Okay. So now, once you've done your conditions here, we're going to fail the check. We have a fail objects in here. Just fail policy. Just put it. So you got these like this for both our output. So basically, like it just show you on the left hand side what is actually the output in here. Output on these objects. Okay. So if you want to run the script, it's easy to check whether it's working or not. Always check it will against to your computer. But sometimes if you need to run the check, the script, you might have a different what we call different requirement on the customer computer. You might not be able to run the test on your computer. You might want to upload to your customer computer. Okay, so when I run the script, it will give you this parameter. It's mean like my UAC enabled. So the script is working. So what I want you to do now, just save this script for me. Probably like you also notice that this is the AMP file. So this is from the automations manager policy. Okay, once you have this script saved, back to your RMM again. Can you upload the script? Okay, so when you upload the script, put the name in, Now, instead you choose automated task, you select script check. Okay. Select your file. Formula, you also see that we have a different, we support different type of scripts as well, like Java, VBS, batch file, PHP, Python, Ruby, PostScript. So you can actually like upload, if you found the internet, you'll be able to upload a different script in the RMM here. Oh, sorry. Yep, for the Windows, save. Okay, so now once you have your script apply, you upload to your RMM, so you can go to checks, just go to the device, and then go to your checks, how you add the custom monitoring. You go to your add checks. You do have two options, 24/7 and a daily safety check. As we know, 24/7, it will check, the check will runs throughout the day. Then you go to script check, select your script just now, the UAC, hit next, just leave it as 120, hit finish. Okay, so now it will add the checks for you. So now if anything that, if on the device that have the UAC is not enabled, it will fail the checks, and depend on the check here, whether you want to get notification via email or SMS, as you just tick this box on the left hand side. Okay. Okay, something I might not, I kind of like force it to run as well, if I don't want to wait too long. Okay, I will leave it that for run to, yeah, just leave it for now. Let's back to the, we're going to create another script if the folder exists. So now we're going to check, but in this one, we're going to use input parameter. Let's have a look on the script. If folder exists, oops. All right, quickly. So firstly, we're going to do check the folder. Maybe is folder exists. Okay, conditional. Okay, and then what we're going to do, oh, sorry, this is file access, not folder. Folder top, folder access, track this one. Same things again. We're going to do the if and if policy. Okay, so in here, we're going to check conditional of the folder access. Hit OK. Now we select does equal true. Oh, sorry, not does equal true. Does not, it will does not equal. If the folder is not exist, then we're going to fill these objects. Get the fill here. Fill policy. Are you guys following so far? So you see the same one for now. we check the folder whether it's exists or not with the fill policy here. So now you can see that this is a required field. If you, in a simple one, we can do hard coded. Maybe like I will check whether the temp folder file is accessed in my computer or not. But sometimes if you do that, it means that the script is not flexible. So it means like it only check the temp folder. But now I would like to check a different folder. How I'm going to do that? Okay. So now you do have this input on the top here. This is where that you have more flexible. It will require the user to type in. So I say folder name. You can leave it empty. We just put the, sometimes you say like, oh, I'm not sure like what I'm going to put. Maybe just, so you kind of a placeholder here. You guys follow? Okay, so now I do have the input. So you just hit OK. So now instead, like if I do hard coded, I will link the input to here. So what it means that if I run this object now, it will prompt me to put what folder I like to check. It's the same way that when you run on your RMM. Okay, so I put a place folder. So you can change like what folder you like to check in here. Okay, once you have this script now, upload to your RMM dashboard as well, please. Okay, so you'll be able to do the same. Once you upload the script, go to the script manager, you can upload to your checks as well. When you run it, it will show you, it will ask you for the folder that you'll be able to do it from there. So now the one we already run, the UAC, you can see more informations. Result is 0, it means like it gives you a green check. The UAC is running. It's enabled on the device. Okay. Last things, quickly as well to cover up all the tasks that we have created. How am I going to, apply to all my devices easily? Okay, rather than like apply a single task to every devices, we're going to create like monitoring template. There's a few ways that you can create a templates. So if you go to settings, traditionally you go to monitoring template, you can go to manage template. Okay, this is where you can create the script, create a template from scratch. So you can say like, oh, maybe this is like onboarding template. I can just add all these automated tasks in here. Okay, maybe like install software from URL, or maybe I want to install maybe like 7-zip. I already have that. And if you want to install a few of the what we call like software, if you want to install like 5 software, then pretty much like you have to maybe a 10-12 click to kind of like create this one particular template here. Okay, what normally we do is, the easiest way to create a template is actually leverage the device. So let's say on this particular laptop here, I have got all my checks, I got all my tasks that I'm happy with. I like to create this as a monitoring template. So what you can actually do, just leverage the device. Let's right click, you go to the monitoring template, you can create a monitoring template from here. So if you want to include all these monitoring checks, just include the checks. Or if you just want to include the task only, you can just do this way. Okay, so now you can see the different tasks. This is only the task, so you can just save this task. Okay, demo. So let's say if I just want to apply this task to a particular site, I can save this template. Okay. You can apply on the device level, or you can go to the different customer. I can apply on the site, apply monitoring template. Now you'll be able to see what did I say before is okay. So this one is only server. Let me just go to the top. Stations, demo software. Then you can apply this template to your devices. So the most important is actually the behavior when you import this, when you apply the template. So the top one will be add to the existing one, and if there is any duplicate, it will replace it. But if you want to just use like override, just select the bottom one, to replace the existing checks and tasks. Okay, it will override the old one. Okay. So basically, this will cover all my automations. This is kind of a quite basic. We do have the advanced, you know, like if you guys are quite comfortable with the PowerScript, we do have like a boot camp for the automations. But we like later you can register and attend that boot camps as well. And we also do have the MSP in Studio that we do have all the video. It's like a training. You'll be able to kind of like guide you through to how to create the, you know, like use a basic script, advanced, intermediate level as well to kind of like use these automations. All right, thanks for your time. Will I pass to Runes?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for that, Alex. Did you guys want a 2-minute break or something to go bathroom? Yeah. So we'll just come back in like 2 minutes. So we've got two more sections. We've got patch management with Renee straight after the break, and then we'll finish off with Alex for the backup. So yes.
I do have a question. Tasks used to cost like 10 cents each time you add one to the device. With the new pricing structure, has that changed?
Did you get that, Alex?
No. Can you repeat the question for me, please?
So tasks used to be 10 cents each, you think?
10 cents a task,
Yeah.
So if you're deploying this for 500 devices, then you've got 50 tasks you're deploying, it becomes quite expensive.
You mean 10 cents each, like we bill for, you mean the pricing?
Yeah.
The cost 10 cents? I think the pricing, not one I'm aware of now, because like this is a part of the RMM, and I think the pricing, I think you might want to talk to SoftSol, but yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, it's all right. We'll check in. We'll get back to Piash. Dougal actually had another question as well. Can we just pop up? Was it USB's not pop?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Stretch your legs.
So when you plug a USB device in, or you know, does the device populate into the RMM by itself, or do you have to add the check manually?
Oh, the USB. Okay, good question. So, it only the USB. It will not. If there's an existing device, you plug the USB. It will not check. It will not apply the USB check. But let's say you have a USB plug into your computer, and then you install the RMM agent for the first time. The RMM agents, when it apply the monitoring, the standard monitoring, it will check. Oh, there's a USB. It will apply that check for you. So when you, does it make sense? So it only check when the first time you install the RMM agent.
Sure.
Yep, that's fine. Any other questions? Okay, cool. So, 2-minute break. We'll see everyone back here. Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
No worries.
Ready to go?
Yep.
Anyone got anything RMM for patch management? difficult for everyone's using it. We've had resellers before who are like, we've taught patch management fully to them, and they just don't trust patches being done by themselves. They want to touch it themselves, so they haven't utilized patch management. So, yeah. So to the next slide. Yeah. Anyone using patch management for Macs at all? Would you want to use? Oh, you guys are using? Anyone would want to use patch management for Macs?
Yeah, I certainly do. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
So yeah, with the solid environment, it does patching for Macs and Windows. With the Macs, you don't really get a choice. It's not that granular with what patches get deployed out to Macs. Whatever comes through gets deployed through to Macs. For the Windows, you get to choose which patches go through and which ones don't. I'll go to the dashboard now. Sweet. So to show you some patching for Macs.
What happened there?
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Just go.
Sweet. Okay. So let's find the Mac in the dashboard. Here's my friend's Chris machine. So that's done via automated tasks. So if you click add automated tasks here, you can click on run manage patch for a Mac. And then if you click next, then you've got a couple of options that you can, the Macs run via script. So if you can choose between testing and production. So with testing, that's still being tested by the Mac specialist team at SolarWinds. And they're still testing that the patches and stuff. But if you want the patch, if the patches become available, you don't want to wait for them to test it, then it can just get pushed out and deployed through to the Macs. If you want to wait till the Mac specialist team at SolarWinds have tested the patches and push it out, then you can click on production instead. There's a couple of other options. Only run script if the user is logged out. So only the patches when the user is logged out. And you can hide the Mac OS notification when the script is run so that it just does silence or the background and it doesn't bother the user. Click next, then you can define the schedule for it as well. What days you want it, what time, what frequency. Click next, and then yeah, once you click finish, it's going to push the patches out through to that machine. So let's not mess with this machine right now. Yeah, actually, we'll go back to the dashboard.
End the presentation.
Right. Okay. Technical difficulty.
Sorry, what are technical difficulties? All right. Sure.
Yeah, so most of you guys will probably already know this. Just a little bit of a refresher if anyone doesn't. Deploying patches through Windows, if you go through the settings here and go to patch management and go feature policy, you can create a new policy when needed. So you can define the name, base it on an already existing policy that you've got, and just choose a policy type as well for it. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we'll just edit an existing policy. If you go down to approval policy, you can do the approval for your critical and or you can choose the whether to automatically or manually approve a patch if needed. You can do the severity of the patches is not defined by SolarWinds themselves, but it's defined by the vendor. So either Microsoft, third party, or any third party applications. Yeah, you can choose to whether to approve it, so it goes through to your installation policy after that, or you can choose to decide whether to manually approve it and then push it out if needed. You can define an installation schedule for the policy. You can do it all manual if you want. If you don't trust it at all, you can just to install one time, you can just put it manual, so you can touch the patches before they get approved, or you can schedule the installation as well. You can choose a time. You can choose whether to do it daily, weekly, or monthly. You can choose the date. So most of you guys know that Windows releases its security patches the second Tuesday of every month or something like that. So if you don't want it to push it out to it, then you can just granularly just put it through monthly. You can potentially push the patch out on the 4th Thursday of the month or something like that. Reboot after installation. So you can choose whether to have the devices reboot after it's installed. And if a schedule's missed, if a machine's been offline at any point, then you can run it as soon as it becomes back online as well. Then you go to failed patches. You can automatically reprocess a failed patch if required. If the patch has failed, then you can automatically reprocess it. The maximum time you can do it is 5 times. And highly recommend that you keep this one on. Send an email when patch installation fails, so that an email comes through to you when the patch has failed and you can respond to it if needed. Yeah, so this is not created page. And then once you've created the patch, you go through to settings, go to patch management, go to settings, and you can apply that policy that you've created through to your machines. So say you want to do it just for one site, you can go down through here, you can turn the setting on for patch management, and you can choose the policies that you've created to apply it to that site. Let's say create the Windows patches. You can manually approve patches as well. You can see there that there's a few statuses on the patches. If it's failed, then the patch has failed. It's probably failed for some reason, so probably have to troubleshoot why that's happened and reprocess it again if needed. If the patch is missing, that patch is not installed on a machine, and it's still awaiting to be approved. Pending is when the patch has been approved and it's just waiting to be go through to the installation schedule to push it out to that machine. Ignored is that you've acknowledged the patch and just ignored it, so that you don't have to. You can just, it just sticks around there, but yeah, it's just that somebody's acknowledged it. And install is that the patch is already obviously installed on that end machine. There's other ways to manually approve a patch as well. So if I just go through to, I'll go patches over here. Then I can go through here to double click this and then approve the patch. That's how you'd manually do it. If you 9 times out of 10, most of the time, if you click on the link to vendor site, it should bring up the KB article for the patch, but I don't know why it's not doing it today. I tried it this morning and it wasn't doing it. So, but yeah, it should usually normally come up. And also we've got here the management workflow as well for patches, so that you can approve multiple patches at once. So we've got, if we go back to patch management, go to management workflow. You can filter by the patch name, filter in the last time. If we can click all time, you can filter by department, filter by status, device type. Click the apply filters button, and that's going to bring up the all of the patches. You can click on one patch, you can shift click and select multiple patches. And then down the bottom, here's the proceed button. So if you click proceed, then you can approve the patch, ignore the patch, make sure, and then just do nothing. If you want to just acknowledge that the patch is there and just do nothing with it. Just click next. You can select the sites that you want it to apply to. Next, and then you can do the schedule for when you can do a schedule for when you want the patches to happen. So you can do it now. You can set the schedule for when you want it to apply, and you can automatically reboot after the installation of patches as well. And if you click apply, then all those settings are going to apply through to those machines. Let's say you manually approve patches. This is just a diagram on some of the on when it does a vulnerability scan on your machine. It's going to look for the patches. If it finds anything missing, then it's either you're going to set it to either ignore or approve. And once the patch has been approved, it's going to just go through the cycle that you've set for the patch policies, and just go through that way. So just talk to you a little bit about the site concentrator. So with the how the patches work is that SolarWinds themselves, or N-able, they've got their repository of patches that they've pulled from the third party and Microsoft. They've pulled the patches onto that repository. Now what you can do is you can set a device to be a site concentrator. So that it has to be a Windows Server machine, and that's going to pull the patches from the SolarWinds repository down to the site concentrator and keep a cache copy of those patches there. So then all the other machines that are on the same network as that site concentrator can pull the patches from the site concentrator onto their machines and install the patch. And that saves those machines all going out through to the vendor to try and install those patches and save bandwidth on that site. Oh, save you guys some bandwidth. So to set up the site concentrator, you just go to the site that you want to set it up for, right click on it, click edit site. Click on site concentrator, and then you can choose the device that you want to set it up for. There's no concentrator because it's probably no Windows Server machines on there. But yeah, that's how you'd do it there. Select the port and all other settings as well in order to create that site concentrator. There's a bit about troubleshooting patch management. So if your patches don't install, what you can do is update the agent to see if that fixes the patch. Find out if these URLs are available. There's more than just these. Just see if it's accessible from the device. If you've got a firewall blocking it, then if you've got a firewall, then we suggest that you put these URLs on the allow list. There's a troubleshooting article with some more URLs on there as well that you'd probably need to allow for the patches to install. And also you can check on the machine itself if the patch management service has been enabled. Sometimes this can turn off. So you just have to right click and just enable it again, start the service again. A little bit more troubleshooting the patch management. This is where the patches are installed on the machine, or where they sit. And sometimes if the patch is not available there, then we would have to troubleshoot how to get that patch sitting on there at any point. Okay, that's just that's patch management done. Did you guys have any questions that you want to talk about patch management? Dougal, do you have any questions?
I guess the tricky one is what we were talking about before.
Yeah, I'll see.
How do we ensure that Windows Update doesn't just do its own thing? Because patch management doesn't say Windows Updates, so Windows Updates just continues to do its thing to you. So,
Have a look at dual scanning, because I found that once I was able to change that to use SolarWinds as the source, essentially, it was a lot smoother. We generally have one person assigned each week that basically approves the patches we want, so we process that one. Which is a little bit.
you don't get printers blue screen again.
Should we ask that?
Dual scan.
Well,
So it's part of WSUS.
yeah, dual scanning.
Jill scanning.
Hey, Alex, you there?
But it's still WSUS dual scan.
Yes, I'm here. What is the question just now?
Sorry, Dougal. Can you-
Yes, Ronesh, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've got an answer, but it's more about how to turn off Windows updates when you're using patch management. What's the best process?
Best process to turn off Windows updates on patch management.
Instead of using Windows updates, because you're going to use patch management, right? You don't want Windows updates to do its thing.
Yeah. Do you know that one, Alex?
I can't hear the question. Can you repeat it for me, please? It's quite far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so what's your recommended process to disable Windows updates from doing its thing when you're using patch management?
Okay, so when you enable the patch management on the RMM, basically we defer automatic Windows update on the device. Okay, so when you say, yeah, basically it will take over of the automatic Windows update.
Not fully. That's not how it's configured.
Maybe we'll,
Yeah.
see it for.
Yeah, it's probably take it offline and just,
Yeah, we think this is one offline, I think.
and just work with you to try and sort it out.
Yeah, we'll come back.
Might
Yeah.
take a bit of back and forth or so.
Yeah.
You're going to use it in there and presses the button here, and the server reboots and some of the day thing. Oh, why don't you push the button?
Okay.
But same with
You pending, and then it goes, oh, just doing it.
No, you won't.
Okay, we'll finish off with the last section with Alex. Take it away.
Sure. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah.
So we can see it.
All right. I'm going to cover the backup and the recovery here. All right. Let's talk about the backup. Okay. So if you guys have using our SolarWinds backup, you might have seen like we do have two modules for our backup here. We have like full license, or like what we call professional license, and we do have the backup documents as well. So you can see on the table, the full license it only works for the Windows only, and the backup it actually works for Windows and Mac. Okay, we do. For the full license, basically like is support the server and the workstations. You can pick and choose like what data source or what files and folder you like to back it up. You can do the recovery, like virtual disaster recovery. You can do the continuous restore as well. And then you, of course, you can do a bare metal recovery. For the backup documents, this is only for files and folder only. So we do have a certain file types that it will automatically back up that files. Okay. Then you don't have any like profile to or any schedule that you can create. Basically, this is setting kind of like you turn it on and forget about it. It will back it up like for 2 times a day. It will. So now you do have the 56 versions for a month. So the retention is 28 days. For the full license, you can by default retention 28 days, but you can leverage our archiving, so you can keep the file as long as you like. Okay, so let's talk about the backup and recovery, how you enable it. Let's look at the dashboard. So on your dashboard in here, of course, on the dashboard, if you have enabled the backup, you will see this icon on the top here. Okay, it's a backup and recovery here. Let me just filter it up to one of the device. Okay, so if you want to enable the backup for one device, as usual, you can just double click, or you can go to edit server. You can go to backup and recovery. So by default, it will be off, or you can use your policy settings. From here, it will give you like the options, what you want to back it up. By default, when you enable the backup, it will back up your profile. Okay, so your profile only. So there is a default setting. From here, pretty much like it will back up your profile. Some of the schedule, it doesn't have a schedule, so you have to do the schedule on the policy as well. The other thing quite important is on these sections, when you do like recovery for the backup, and maybe a bare metal recovery or virtual disaster recovery, it will ask you for this recovery encryptions key here. Okay, so this key is encrypted. You need this information when you do the recovery. Okay, you got these three informations required: device name, password, and an encryption key. But everything is already encrypted in here. So that once when you enable the backup from the device, the other setting, of course, you always able to enable from the global. Go to the backup and recovery. You do have the 2 settings in here. I will talk about inactive backup account later. And if you go to the settings, this is where that you can pick and choose which customer you like to backup be enabled. If you look at the workstation here, it will give you 2 options here. So because we support the documents and then the professional backup. If you want to look at like what type of files that you like to back it up for the documents, this is the file that we supported. Sometimes like you might have, this document backup is suited only for the workstations. Sometimes they doesn't want to pay for the full price for the professional license. Then you'll be able to offer this type of backup. Anything of this type of file, we're gonna back it up. So we do have the automatic exclusion on the system folder. It will not back up. So if they save that like the document file on that program files folder, it will not get backed up. Of course, the user will not save that file, but just in case. So basically, we have already have the exclusions in there. Okay. And we are going to touch more on the professional backup today. Okay, so when you enable the professional backup, it will show you the all this profile here. You can see by default it will just back up your profile. If you want to exclude any like subdirectory, you just do it from here too. And you can set up a schedule. at the moment, if you want to schedule like maybe hourly, then you need to do it on the device level, okay? Or the system state schedule, this is where that you need to enable it if you need to do bare metal recovery and also the virtual disaster recovery, okay? So time to time you say like, okay, I need to make sure that the backup is not, you know, chew up all the bandwidth during the work hours. Then you can set up the bandwidth throttling here, okay? And then you can allow weekend. There's no limit for that. The other thing is that we do have a local speed vault as well. So our backup is a cloud-based backup. It's a mandatory. So when you enable it, it will back up to our cloud. And we always recommend it as well. So if the customer have the like NAS on site or, you know, network drive, pretty much like good to enable this local speed vault. So now you do have two copies. One is offsite, one is on site. Okay. The benefit of that is that when you do a recovery, the system will automatically check. If you do have the local speed vault setup, it will pull from the local speed vault. Okay. For the archiving, so our default retention is 28 days. Okay, so you can access that backup file for 28 days. So in a scenario that you need to, you know, maybe for the customer, maybe like 7 years or maybe like 10 years, basically you can set up the archiving as well. You can back it up maybe like 2-3 times within the month, or maybe last day of the month, or that you'll be able to set up the archiving job. Excuse me. Okay, you do have a password protector for local backup manager as well. You can enable that. This is basically that once you enable the backup manager, you can actually access that backup on that device, go to the local host port 5000. But if time to time some partner, they actually allow the user to restore their file themselves, as easy, they can go to the restore, select the date, select the time, they can restore the file themselves. But if kind of like you want to make sure that the user doesn't have the access, then you can lock that backup manager from that settings, the one I showed you earlier. Any questions so far?
No, we're good here, Alex.
Okay, good. All right, so let's kind of touch from here. Yes, so once you enable the backup on your device, now you will have this tab in here. Okay, so as easy, once you set up your schedule, you will see like files and folders, system state, whatever you back up, it will show up on your management console. So if you have plenty of the devices, you can just flip to. You can see like if any fail, you also get the alert as well. Because once you enable the backup, we also apply the monitoring checks for you as well. So you can see whether it's successful or not. Okay. All right, let's look at the backup manager. So now you do have the backup options in here. What you actually do is like, if the customer give you a call, let's say they need to, you know, like say I'm missing the file, probably it's quite common, I can't find my file, can you actually restore the file for me? So you can come to here, you can just select the restore from this session, otherwise you can go to the device, you can go to the backup and recovery, open the backup manager. So once you open the backup manager here, the big difference is, give me a second. Should be this. Oh, just fill on this one. So it will be, give me a second. Let me just use different device. So now it will point to this address. Okay. If you are on the device, let's say you are remote into the device, then you can just as easy just go to the local host port 5000, same way. Okay. So now, if you look at the overview here, we give you like the what's happening on this device here. You can look at the backup and recovery. You can look at the machine name. You can look at the connection test as well if you need to. It's kind of a quick check all this ping test for you. Okay. Then what kind of a backup sources that you actually apply? Files and folder, system state, whether your cloud is connected, your remote storage is synchronized, you will be able to see it from here. And then you have all this selected size. Selected size is this is a raw file that you backed up. So let's say you do have 2 terabyte hard drive, but you only backed up, maybe your data you want to back up is only like 70 gig. This is the raw file. Okay. And then the use storage, this is where that all the files that you backed up, all the delta changes, it will be encrypted, compressed, and then upload to the cloud. So this is the total storage that you use. Okay. Quickly as well, you can look at the backup history. The one I mentioned, we have a 28 days backup. So you can look at it's a color coded. Green means okay, black is mean like it's not running. Okay. So if you look at the history of the backup in here, basically once you enable the backup, it will run a full backup for the first time. Okay. And after that, the rest will be just a delta changes. Okay. So now you can see that the delta changes from here. This is my own laptop. We do have like the one I back it up like 44 gig for the files and folder. Number of files about 99,000. There's lots of files in here, but the changes is only 5,000 here. And the total new file maybe, and also the changes about 8.34 gigabyte. After the compressions is about like 1 gigabyte file. This is the one that we upload to the cloud. Okay, same thing as a system state. So, so the best practice is actually like if your customer have a slow bandwidth or maybe they are critical, we always recommend it to perform like a backup, maybe hourly, maybe a few times, couple of times a day. The more you schedule a backup, the size will getting smaller when you upload to the cloud. Okay. The good things from here as well, you can actually look at the file itself. So let's say in this scenario, I got like 5,000 files, and I will be able to see if any, like files like what we call like zero value restore. I will be able to see if any file that not used, I can actually put in my exclusion list as well. It's a bit slow to load. Okay, yeah. So I can just shortlist it in here. I can see like 5 gigabyte, 5.7 gigabyte file. This is my Outlook OSD file, and the rest just or the Google Chrome. Sometimes you might found a lot of temp file in here that you think like I don't need to back up all that temp file. Then pretty much you can just copy that file and just put in your exclusions. Okay. All right. So the one that I mentioned on the profile, by default, it will back up your your data sources. You only back up your profile when you enable the backup. So we do have the files and folder as well. Sometimes, let's say you do have a customer, they are not required to back up the whole system, okay? But they kind of like you're offering like you're going to back up the specific folder. Maybe they are in the medical vertical, so basically like they might have their own in-house application. You might want to just back up their own folder. You can pick and choose in here. Okay. In this scenario, I just back up my own profile. But if you need to do a bare metal recovery or the virtual disaster recovery, you need to back up the file system, the whole file system here. And the other thing, you also need to back up the system state. Okay. All right. So other sources, like we also have like network share, the VMware, Oracle. Sometimes like partner also asking like whether if I want to back up the our files on our network drive. Yep, you can just as easy just leverage one of the device, it will be a server or doesn't matter. It's a workstation. If they be able to access that folder, just put the path, domain, and user the credential here. So you'll be able to select the folder and back up that folder as well. Okay. So talking about the restore, there's a few of the restore that I can show you. The easiest one, of course, like I can say maybe 90%. When you offer this backup solution to your partner, to your clients, hopefully most of the time they say like, okay, I lost my file, I can't find the file. Can you actually restore the file for me? So what you can actually do from here, you can see that 28 days. But if you go through all my calendar, I actually back up more than 28 days, but a single in here. So this one is, you can see the A, it means that I have enabled the archive. So if I want to restore the one like 2-3 months ago, I can just select the date, and how you restore the file is pretty, or folder is pretty, it's quite easy. Okay. You can restore like a whole folder, or maybe just like a single particular file. You'll be able to do it from here. When you restore, because the hard drive is still running, it means that the hard drive is not dead, the operating system is still running. You can restore to the original location. So basically just drop it to the location right away, or you can just restore to the new locations. So the one I mentioned earlier about the password protector, some of the partner, they trust their clients. They say that, okay, if you need to restore your own file, then pretty much like you can come to the restore, and then you can just select your whatever you want to restore, just do it from here. Okay, but some of the partner, this is part of their services. They can trust be the customer as well. So you can just do it as easy as here. Okay, just restore the file right away to the device. Okay, so the other thing, anything like with the system state or virtual disaster recovery, if you enable the file system and the system state, you'll be able to do a virtual disaster recovery. If you want to just restore as a local VSD file, and then you want to get this file and mount it to the your Hyper-V server, then by all means you can do it from here as well. But I will show you another way, that better way to do a recovery for virtual disaster recovery. Okay, part of your backup here, we do also have a management, sections here. So if you want to get a daily email from your backup, whether it's anything failed, you just put all your how often you like to get, just put your email address here. Okay, so the one I mentioned, like you might want to schedule some of the backup as well. You can do it. Just add the schedule as easy as you go. Monday to Friday. Friday, you just put like what source you like to back it up. Okay, the more you schedule your backup, the what you call the size getting smaller when you upload to the cloud. And also, like when you do a restore, basically like if you only back up like once a day, or maybe like 6 hours a day, what happens is like if in some point of time, let's say the customer lost a file or they want to restore the file, it means that they will lose about 6 hours work or 4 hours work. But if you do like hourly, they might just only lose like half an hour work only. Okay. Performance, you can actually do on a profile. If you want to do it on the individual device, just come to the individual device. You can limit the bandwidth from here as well. Okay, so you can do the upload speed. The smallest one, you can put like 32 kilobits in here. Okay, no limitation. Maybe on Sunday and on a weekend, you can just use a full bandwidth. Local speed vault, same things again. You can actually, if you want, if they have a removable hard drive, you can just plug in. Of course, it's not as safe. They have a network. If they have a NAS on the network drive, basically they can use this. But the one I need to mention also, like all these backup, when the backup is run, all the file will be encrypted at rest. So it means that even though they are back up to the local drive, the file is already encrypted. They cannot read the file. Okay. And the idea of the local speed vault is that you have two backup sources. So these two data will sync each other with the cloud backup as well. So if one of the backup is, let's say, missing file, basically it will sync and then it will copy back as well. So make sure they always have a same data. So in this scenario, is that if you use the local speed vault, just be aware that you have to make sure that the size of the hard drive, as the same or larger than the one you have in the cloud, the data in the cloud. Always, yeah. And we do have the archiving, the one I mentioned. If your customer required more than 28 days, then pretty much you just enable the archiving. You can set up archiving as many as you like as well. Okay, so on the archiving job here, once you've done the archiving, the good thing is like you able to do your maintenance, like you can do a cleanup as well. For the 28 days data, you will not be able to access that. Basically, like it's there for you to do a restore. So basically, once it go to day 29, the day one will be deleted. But for the archiving, when you set up the archiving, you can keep this data as long as you like. So sometimes you may say, this is too much. I need to kind of like, maybe this is already 10 years old file. I need to just delete some of the file as easy. Just pick and choose. You can just do the cleanup. Okay. So some of the things like you might have questions like, okay, this is a cloud-based backup, and then our customer have 1 terabyte data. It's gonna, the bandwidth maybe is like not a lot, or maybe just the speed is only like what 20 megabits per second, but yours is maybe like 100 in the office. What you can actually do, you can enable the seeding. This is where that you can just plug in as a normal. We do have the instruction, just plug in just a normal removable hard drive. It will back up that seeding file for you. Then you can bring that drive and then go to your office and then you upload for them. This is normally done for the first time. Okay. While you are doing a seeding, let's say you get the drive, you upload the drive, maybe you take about maybe like 2 or 3 days. So what happened on the schedule? Because you already set up the schedule to run maybe every hour. So actually that file is already, the schedule will it will run. Okay, so all the data changes, it will kept to the cloud, so you don't have to worry about that. So basically, once you upload the cloud, it will sync it back to your local storage or your data. Any questions so far?
None at the moment, Alex.
Okay, good. So let's talk about the recovering console here. So on the dashboard, so when you do a restore, okay, there's a few restore here. On your RMM, so let's say you enable the backup, right? And then let's say the hard drive is dead. So you might want to do, because you offer the full backup, bare metal recovery or the virtual disaster recovery. So if you want to do bare metal, basically like you can just come to the download section on the backup and recovery, download the exe file, or ISO file here. So this is where it kind of give you you can upload to the thumb drive. It will install like a Windows PE, the light version of Windows. It boot it up, and then it will ask you for the 3 information, the one I showed you earlier, the credential, to verify whether this is a legit device. Then you'll be able to do a restore from there. Okay. The other thing is as well, as easy as this is, like let's say you offer a backup as well, but the hard drive is dead, right? So what happens is like you need to replace the whole hard drive, and you need to when you kind of like delete this device, what happens with the backup informations, all the data. So what happens that if you delete the device, or the device is not running, what happens is that you do have the inactive backup accounts. Okay, so the data, even though the data is not using, we still save that data for you. Okay, yeah, just bear in mind this is still chargeable. Okay, so you still have that data. When you do a restore, it's as easy as like, because the hard drive is dead, let's say I install a new agent, but this new agent doesn't have a backup. I need to link the old data. So as easy as just go to the device itself. Under the backup and recovery, you can change storage account. So basically, you can link this new device to the inactive data in here. Okay, so once it's linked, basically like you'll be able to, if the user need to get all the data back, they can go to localhost 5000, or just right click and then point to the backup itself, like this. Okay, so you can just do it from the dashboard, or you can do it from the local machine. All right, so let's talk about the recovery console. What it means recovery console is time to time you may say, the hard drive is there, or maybe I need just pull a file or folder. Because when the one I showed you earlier, like localhost port 5000, if the operating system is not running, you will not be able to access this page. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to download what we call recovery console software. You can install on the server, you can install on the workstation, doesn't matter. Okay, but the idea for the recovery console software here is for you to be able to do like a virtual disaster recovery, or maybe you want to do restore like on the VMware or other things. Okay, or maybe that's part of your services, you offer the continuity. Okay, let me just show you. So this is our server, our Hyper-V server. So let's say now you also offer a service. What happens is like, okay, I do have let's say you have a Hyper-V machine lying around on your office, or maybe your customer has a spare machine. You can use this one as well. So what you need to do, just install the recovery console here. Okay, maybe we don't talk about the Hyper-V first. So this recovery console software, this is where that you can use to do a continuity. It means that, let's say part of your service, if the customer have a primary machine, and now you do have the secondary machine that ready to go. Okay, so how easy to work is like you install the recovery console, you need to add the device in here, put the 3 pieces of information. Once it's verified, it will add the device in here. Okay, so as easy as like, we do have the continuous restore on the side in here. When you tick this box, it will checking every 5 minutes with the primary machine. So any delta changes on the primary machine, and then it will push to the secondary machine. Okay, so now the questions also like you might have like this is your own Hyper-V machine. The other way that you also use for this Hyper-V machine also part of your testing. Okay, so maybe in a scenario that a lot of maybe MSP also offer this backup, but how often they do test if the machine is actually the data is actually working or not when they need it. Okay, so basically like you can use this recovery console and then test your machine. Okay, once you add the device, you can just go to the configure here. Okay, we do have a few options. If you want to just restore a file, get a folder, the one I mentioned, if the operating system is there on that device, you won't be able to use the localhost port 5000. You have to use these options. Okay, but part of this one, the most important, maybe for the secondary machine, for the continuity, you want to do a virtual disaster recovery. This is where that you can do your test as well. Okay, so we do have a different target. So you can do, let's say this is your Hyper-V. I would like to restore as a Hyper-V machine. Okay, just put all this information like for the VM. What happens when they restore this file? Okay, this data, this machine, it will automatically mount it to your Hyper-V manager here. Okay, so this is your secondary. You can just start your machine from here, and then you can set it up. If the primary machine is down, you can actually change the IP address. You'll be able to do it from your link to your Hyper-V server right away. Okay, and the other thing as well, when you do the configure here on the virtual disaster recovery, we also have the option like start the virtual machine here, this box. Okay, it actually take a snapshot, like it boot up the device, take a snapshot, and then shut down shut down the machine. Okay, and then of course you need to know also like you would like to get the email if the snapshot is okay or not. Okay, how does it actually looks like? When it's sent you to your email, you will see this. You can see like if any like customer name, device name, sorry, customer name, device name, and then the completed. So now you know the backup is ready to be used. Okay, this is kind of like the peace of mind that when you just do a backup, you already test it as well, and the backup works. Okay, so the other thing like I would like to mention as well, as you can see that let's say you do offer maybe like a lot of devices, you add on your recovery console. Okay, so how it actually run the process in here, it actually like it will sync like every 10 minutes here. So the process is like one device. When you add one device, it take 10 minutes, and then the next device, it will take another 10 minutes. So basically like to go back to the first device is actually stop for it will wait for the like 20 minutes already. Okay, the more devices that you have to recycle back to the top, it will take time. Okay, so if you do have a lot of devices, basically like we always recommend it to have a load balancing, have another server. Okay, so you don't chuck all like 20, 30 devices in this recovery console. Okay, so just quickly check. Oh, the other thing like I didn't mention as well on the configure here, when you do virtual disaster recovery, of course, the one I mentioned is you're mounted to the Hyper-V, but you also can target as a VSD file. Okay, so you can get that file and mount it to the other Hyper-V server. And also, if that file, this server do have the what we call the local speed vault, you can actually mount that local speed vault. When you do the virtual disaster recovery, it will automatically grab from the local speed vault rather than download from the cloud. Okay. So this is kind of like quickly, like you can recovery anywhere. This is application aware as well. We're talking about the retention, talking about the archiving as well. So you can restore from the archive. Bare metal recovery. So the last thing is that the one I already show you, the for the recovery testing. So not just you back it up, but you also know your data is actually ready to be used.
Hi, Alex. Sorry, just wanted to check how much more is it, because we're gone a bit over schedule.
That's it, pretty much.
Oh, okay, great. Perfect timing.
Do you guys have questions or?
Any questions from the room?
No, one time to remain.
I think Paul, one of our remote attendees, he had a question from earlier. Paul, are you still there? You can unmute yourself. No? Okay, well, yeah, just, yeah, you feel free to come back to us, Paul. Cool, all right, so no questions. I think that's it then, Alex.
All right,
Thank
no
you.
worries. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. I will talk to you guys again.
Cool, thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
So, lunch is meant to be for an hour. I don't know how many of you guys are staying. Well, hands up who's staying after this for the next part.
What's after lunch?
After lunch is just a quick overview of Passportal and EDR, and then we'll move on to the user group, which is more of a discussion, amongst everyone to see, tips and discuss, how things are going, stuff like that. And there's also a product feedback section. So in the next section, we've got Hamish as well as Bob as well from SolarWinds in Sydney. So they'll be beaming in. So if there is any product feedback or something like that, you can stick around for that as well. So yes, same for our remote attendees. So we'll be back at 1:30. So we'll start again at 1:30 for the next part. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Good job. Thank you, bud.
Also, for the remote attendees, I will keep this meeting link online, so you can jump out and jump back in at 1:30, so or anytime. So you don't need to leave it on for now. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.